Welcome back to Pop Culture Explosion. I'm Mike, and I'm here with Paul.
Here at Pop Culture Explosion, we watch the movies, we get freaked out, we scream, and then we realize in space no one can hear you scream. Mike, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about Alien Covenant, the latest from Ridley Scott.
Oh my God, as an Alien franchise fan, I was blown away. But hey, Mike, let's just get into this conversation to share with you why I was blown away with this movie.
Sure. This Alien Covenant exceeded expectations. Ridley Scott crafted this with love. It was well acted, suspenseful. It had that philosophical thread in the film that gave it more meaning, and it gives you enough action and horror without overdoing it. This was a great movie. Thoughts?
Well, first of all, it started compelling. You know, the beginning of this movie, I was compelled. Within probably 25, 30 minutes of the movie, it was action, and I was engaged the entire time.
Yeah, and where would you say that this would rank amongst all of the Alien films? And you can include AVP.
Okay, number 2.
Yeah,
Aliens,
agreed.
Aliens being number 1, Covenant being number 2, and Alien being number 3.
Yeah, and mine would be the same, except I'd add Prometheus in there, because I did enjoy Prometheus upon watching it recently. Didn't always feel that way, and I just didn't remember it very well, but this Prometheus ties very well into Covenant. They're, a 1-2 punch. What about actors' performances? I know that Michael Fassbender, in my opinion, as David and also playing Walter, absolutely stole the show, and I think that both of these movies are really just about him and the theological thread.
Now there's 2 actors. Katherine Watterson. Watterson, I'm sorry. I didn't discover her until she played a character in the most recent Harry Potter films and
Yes.
this one. Her performance was amazing. And Danny McBride, I will confess, I am not a fan of Danny McBride. I don't think he's that funny. He's a comedian. But he blew me away in this performance in this movie. I am now formally a fan of Danny McBride.
Yeah, he's great. And I was a fan of his Eastbound and Down show. I really enjoyed that. And, Katherine Watterson, she's very the Ripley-esque, strong female badass and did a great job in that. I mean, when she's swinging off the ship, oh, man. That's incredible.
Okay, so the parallel between her and Ripley, okay, we have to acknowledge this.
She's the new Ripley.
Well, Ripley was very strong, and then she got broken down, and she was defeated, and then she got strong again. I think we talked about that in one of our previous episodes. Daniels, she lost her husband, okay? So she had a moment of mourning. But after she got past that, she was a kick-ass son of a bitch that I would not mess with.
Yeah. And I thought it was well balanced. It was just a well balanced cast with her, rounding it out.
So let's talk about Michael Fassbender. He played 2 different characters in this movie. He played David and he played Walter.
Yep.
Of those 2 characters, who were you rooting for?
I was absolutely rooting for Walter. I mean, you love to hate David, but, Walter, I really was hoping that he'd turn it about. But I don't think there's any other way you could have ended this movie. It was deliciously evil the way it was David. And, and there's debate on, Daniels stabbed him in the chin with the nail, and there wasn't that damage there towards the end. So it was like there's, speculation. That's a huge miss.
There's another thing too. Is during the final fight between David and Walter, Walter was healing himself because he was an upgraded version.
Mm-hmm.
And then you fast forward at the very end, you see Walter or David with the stapler, healing his skin, and that should have been the clue that that was David and not Walter, because David was not healing. He needed a tool to help repair himself.
Mm-hmm. Or the fact that, or the idea rather that he swapped bodies, like somehow he had a chip or something that he swapped with him. I don't know if that's reaching. I've read about it.
So let's get back to this review, okay? For an entertainment value, how do you view this film as a repeat viewing?
Absolutely would repeat view, own it on Blu-ray, watch it several times. Was exciting and fun, and it's just fun to get. This is a thought-provoking couple of films between the Prometheus and Covenant, so it's a lot of replay value in there.
So for me to answer that question, I was actually having this conversation with Christine, and the conversation was, Christine, do you want to see Pirates of the Caribbean this coming Saturday? And Christine said, I would rather see Aliens Covenant again. And I'm like, yes, I would rather see Alien Covenant again versus Pirates of the Caribbean. So as a replay value, I'm completely there.
So, we were kind of talking about actors' performances, and I can't end a review without mentioning this Ferris, which I believe was, Tennessee's wife. The scene where she's just freaking out.
Oh, yes.
Where the other gal was in there. See, I don't know. I'm not going to go through all the actors' names or whatever. But
you're talking about Kamel Jojo?
Yeah, Kareen was her name in there.
Yes.
And dude that got infected first. Benjamin Rigby, I believe his name is Ledward. Okay, when Ledward's convulsing and she's trapped in the room with him, and Ferris locks them in, and she's like hyperventilating. She's running around. She's full of blood. I mean, it doesn't get any more realistic in the portrayal of fear that was going on in those scenes. I mean, it was pulse pounding.
Mike, if either you and I would have been transported to that position, I think we would have been just as equally freaked out.
Yeah.
Now, watching that scene, Christine and I were both extremely frustrated with her reaction, because we're thinking, hey, wait a second, an alien's going to pop out. Just put this together. Just leave the ship. But we're not there. And I would have been equally freaked out as she was. So I think that was a very honest portrayal in that performance.
Yeah, it was great. And, I mean, would you have let her out?
No. Oh, hell no. That door is locked. I am leaving the ship with a gun, waiting for something to come out. She's dead.
And when she went back in there and slipped on the blood, I mean, it's nail biting. She's on the floor of this thing, and the alien's all slipping around, and oh man.
Now, the one thing I really loved about this movie is we had a couple different aliens. We had the Nenomorphs. We had the Xenomorphs. Those aliens were freaky. Another thing that really just blew me away was David destroying the engineers in that one scene. What was your response to that?
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't really surprised at that. He's evil.
Okay, so I think we can wrap this review up. Mike, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you view this movie for the Alien franchise?
For the Alien franchise. This was a 10, man. I loved it. I mean, the only complaint I would have is that you didn't get to know who the characters were. It just was a bunch of people together. And, they didn't go into who they were, and they were kind of just a bunch of throwaway characters. That was my only complaint about it.
I would give this movie an 8. My only complaint was The aliens grew too quickly. The ingestion period went with the facehuggers was way too fast. But other than that, you remove that piece, love the movie.
Yep.
So, with that being said, Mike, let's peace out.